Some of the season and missed a few games, but I'll tell you, he's a player that makes it happen. I need to take a second to explain what we have done here. We have gone to a sew-on letter patch rather than the metal tag patch because Coach Albertson got tired of seeing returning people 4 and 5 years after they had graduated that had lost their metal footballs, their year stripes. So everything that goes on the letter from this point on is going to be sewn on so it becomes a permanent fixture. And I think that's going to make it much nicer. I have clear spots on my old jacket where the pins have been lost over the years. Next, I'd like to go to number 82, Ron Bernardi, also a 3-year letterman. Ron. Can't say enough about this kid. You talk to kids in the hall and their first comment is, I'm too small to play football. Ron proves no one in the world is too small to play football. Next, number 22, Matt Ewald. Matt is one of the guys that when the fur was flying, Matt was always right in there mixing it up. Thanks, man. Did I hit a nerve there or what? Next, number 6, Chad Foster. The Troy coach called me and started running down a couple of the players, and he said, you know, Foster does this and this and this, and what else does he do? And I said, well, he takes a water bucket in at halftime. I mean, you know, he does just about everything here. In all my years of coaching, I have to say that the next ball player had the biggest impact for a first-year senior player. Mike Houlihan came out as a senior and ended up as a starting fullback, contributed on the defense and was a special team player. And I'll tell you, he was just a joy to have on the team. Come on down, number 23, Mike Houlihan. First-year letter winners get the big orange D and the sew-on football patch. Thanks, big guy. I'm going to hand the next one because if you throw it, it might get dropped. Number 34, Chris Hunter, go on down. You know, there are gamers. And Chris, I'm not saying that he didn't work hard in practice, but there were nights he couldn't catch a cold, stark naked in Antarctica as far as catching a pass. But Friday night, you know, I don't think about personnel that's out on the field all the time when I'm thinking offensive flow. So I call a play and look out there, and there's Chris, and he catches it. So he gets the job done when the job has to be done. Thanks. Number 75, John Lesho, third-year letterman. Come on down. You know, John has one of those spots that you get very little recognition. The offensive lineman I fondly refer to him as the Hog. You know, every time I say the Hog, my wife kind of cringes, like, you know, it's a derogatory statement. But I think our ball players know when we call them Hogs, that's a term of endearment. Number 87, Sean McDonald, come on down. You know, as a sophomore, I looked at this big frame, and every year it just kept getting bigger and stronger. And I'll tell you, as a senior, he just really came on and did some nice things for us. Number 55, John Need, 3-year letter winner. I only had one other person ever letter for me 3 years at center, and that was Andy Swales. And of course, I had Andy back to coach for me. So who knows, someday he may be sitting up here because I turn him over pretty fast up here. John, thank you. Big slips are in the mail. Number 65, Greg Smith. Come on down. I had the pleasure of meeting Greg the first day he was in the high school doing his visitation. His parents came up to take a look at the school, and I'm not sure he wanted Danville as bad as I wanted him. I mean, he said, you know, I play guard and I'm a catcher. Well, I've been a catcher, and anybody that could catch and play guard had to have some of the right tools, and Smitty had it. Number 72, Byron Weaver. Come on down. You know, I see Mr. Hunter here with his camera, and I wish I could have had a camera beside me when I was sending Byron in with the play. Because, have you ever watched Marv Levy on the sideline work his gum? My wife's always commenting about that. He would work his mouthpiece. He'd be saying like this. And I'd be there, fighting right, flip-flop, Kansas City, sprint left, throw back right, and he's like. And I must have been driving it into his mind by the way he was biting his mouthpiece. And then he'd shove his mouthpiece in and go running out, and we never had a missed call. Who says football isn't good for you? The last day of the season was the last day I saw Bill Bowman in school. Now, Bill's been running a little sick off and on the last month or so. But come on down, number 44, Bill Bowman. You've all read the book, Man Without a Country. Billy Bowes went to tight end, and then we went to an offense without tight end. So he kind of got, you know, lost in the shuffle, but never once did he have that attitude, poor me, why did this happen to me? He worked as a slot back, he worked in the defensive secondary, and I mean, he really took the change of formation in stride and really was a contributor. One of the big surprises this year, number 81, Nathaniel Carper. One of our biggest worries was too tall, too skinny. Well, he proved that he could muscle with anybody that he played this year. He has dedicated himself to the weight room. They were playing basketball the other day against the girls, and I have to say our girls varsity cleaned our boy weightlifter. But he was moving up and down the court without a shirt on, and somebody said, "Who's that?" And I said, "Oh, that's Carper." And they had to wait till he turned around and they could see his face, because in just the month and a half that he's been seriously lifting, you can really start to see some excellent improvement. Number 12, Chris Coon. Come on down. You know, if there's an intensity award, I think Chris is one of the guys that I would have to look at. Chris is one of the guys that really gets into his own head. I was a little hesitant having Coach Coombe and Chris being on the same team, but there was always that respect and that fine line. I think it's a tribute to them as individuals, to how Chris looks at the sport, and he's just a joy to have around. Brian Cotner, come on down. Nicked himself shaving the other night against Milton. Brian, of course, had a real nice interception, decided to try to slide on into second and dislocated his elbow, and we lost him for a bulk of the season. And, you know, a lesser kid would have written football off for his junior year and started worrying about basketball. But he was there every night. He attended the meetings. He watched the films, came back, put him in at quarterback, called a fly, threw a touchdown, Baylor in stride, corner of the end zone. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's the type of attitude you got to have on a championship team. Somebody who wants to be there and works to be there. Number 77, Chad Corral. Come on down. Chad, of course, is our tuition student. He comes to us. He is very interested in our VOAG program. And twice we lost his services through the season. But every time he came back with his hair cut a little shorter, his face a little meaner, and just played a great game for us on the defense. '73, John Gerst, come on down. I won't say that Gerst and Bowman have been kissing, but they've been missing a lot of the same school days. John has something that nobody at this table can give a football player, and that's size. I mean, I'm not getting down on college football coaches, but I'll tell you what, the bottom line to a lot of recruiting is, how big are they? And he's got the frame, and he's got the attitude, and he starts getting his weight back on. He looks like a shell of himself right now. I mean, this kid has a great future ahead of him. 48, Chris Cabler, come on down. For those of you that weren't at the talent show, he does a wicked dice man. He almost brought the audience to their feet, and Mr. Price as well. First started out the season at the starting position at fullback, came down with a hip pointer, lost some time with us, stayed on, worked hard, was a contributor and also a major contributor for us at the JV level. By the end of the season, with injuries and personnel realignment, he really helped to pick up the slack there, and we're looking for big things next year on the varsity. Aaron Layhow, come on down. Aaron's another one of those students that came to us, and I found out he played lineman. I love when we get linemen. I hate when I find out we're getting a recruit, because Mr. Price is probably the most avid sports enthusiast I've ever had for an administrator. And he'll come running in and he'll go, "We have an exchange student coming, 6'7", 220. I'm like, "Yes, God, my prayers have been answered." He'll go, "I'm just teasing." You know, and he does that to me about twice a year. But Aaron shows up and tells us he wants to play line, came out and gathered up his gear. We have a drill, I know you parents probably all heard of it, called Twisted Sister. The drill, as I learned, it was called Weak Sister. But our staff didn't like that, so we called it Twisted Sister. Howie Weaver would back up his Bronco or whatever, the Jeepster, with the big speakers in the back. We'd crank up the music and go after it. 2-on-2, 4-on-4, 7-on-7. And I'll tell you, there were some hellacious shots. And every time, like, I'm standing like it. It was great. number 60. Come on down. You've heard of linemen called like fire plugs, right? Built like a fire plug. Quintessential fire plug right here. I'll tell you, he's a wide body, and we expect to get a lot of yards behind him next year. He's in there squatting right now. And the bar is just kind of bending over his back. And every time he gets his knees locked, there's a smile on his face. Because he has achieved it, and he's working hard to get better. Tim Paul, number 83. Come on down. Tim Paul had a situation this year where he was in behind an entire returning secondary. Didn't stop him from working hard, earned himself a spot on most of the special teams, and really, through that special team effort, did earn himself a varsity lift. These next two, side by side, back to back, as you find them on Friday night. Number 57, Josh Potiker, come on down. We play a 44 front defense, and it's built to highlight the linebackers, inside linebackers, and this is one half of that core. And I'll tell you, you want to talk about a man that was off the wall. Take any minute of either of the two playoff games, and you just look into this man's eyes, and it just fired me up. I mean, there was a burning intensity, and it's going to serve us well next year. The other half of the inside linebacker core, number 31, Howie Weaver. Come on down. I can't say enough about this guy. We'd watch the films and you'd see the running back from the other team running, and all of a sudden there'd be a snapback. And we'd all say, who hit him? Who hit him? And we'd run the film back, and we'd run the film back again. He gets down so low and moves so fast. What's really funny is to hear Ron Caber try to say who makes the tackle. Tackle number 81, Carper. He's standing right here beside him. You know, Carp's off for a play because he got jabbed in the eye. Oh, he doesn't care. You know, 81, 31, call me anything. And he makes the hit. First of our two sophomores, number 30, Ryan Betts. Come on down. As a sophomore, one of the best hitters I've ever seen. You know, it speaks volumes about these two young men, both Ryan and Andy, in a senior-dominated team. To be a sophomore letterman is a distinction. And he earned it, and I'm just proud to give it to him. You know, Coach Mahoney talks about missions and focus and goals. Well, our next boy, Andy Need, is on a mission, and he has set his sights right in the middle of his brother's back. Andy Need, come on down. Andy was the other half of the messenger team, and I grabbed him out in the hall the other day after weight room, and I said, I want you at 260 next year. He looks down at me and goes, Coach, I'm already at 260. I said, okay, let's go 270. You know, Coach Mahoney alluded to the junior varsity, and I'm not going to try to say anything better than what he said, because he really did hit the nail on the head. Our JVs were guts and glory. I call fit, pressure fit. Of all the good moments of this season, one of the things I remember most vividly is over at the Milton JV game, clock running. 6, 5, and Fitz coming under the center like this. Number 67, I haven't seen him yet, Tom James. Is he here tonight? Okay. Number 52, Adam Millard, second year on the JVs with us. I apologize to the next man. These nimble fingers right here did the typing, and I did correct a couple typos, but somehow I missed the O in Barrick. Number 88, Mark Barrick, come on down. I'm not going to put more pressure on him than he puts on himself, but with his speed and moves, I look at him and I see Ron Bernardi as a 10th grader, except Mark has a bigger carriage, bigger frame. Sorry, Ron, truth's truth, yeah. Rob Bonboy. Number 80, Dave, about to come on down. In a team that runs and shoots, you got to have a lot of wideouts. And I'll tell you, he gets to the ball and he catches in traffic, and you can't ask more of a wideout. Like to see him in the weight room, get a little bigger, keep that hair nice and flat, get those airplane launched. We all know who Carl Lewis is, right? Carl Lewis is probably one of the fastest men alive. Well, the other night, I happened to see number 69, Corey Burton, doing his best impersonation of Carl Lewis as he ran out of the parking lot into the dark, trying to catch his mother so he could get to the Milton basketball. Corey Burton, come on down. To you returning varsity linemen, I think you better keep your eyes on this guy because he's working hard and he's coming after you. Pressure fit. Come on down. I'm going on record right now, and don't say that hindsight's 20/20, but we didn't change one thing of our offense and defensive philosophy when Cotner got hurt. Cotner being the backup varsity quarterback, that meant that role fell down to Fit. You know, we could have tried to protect Foster by taking him off the defense, removing him some of the special teams, but we had enough confidence that had Chad gone down, Fitman could have gotten in there and gotten the job done. He's the only man I've ever seen play quarterback, run a dive, hand the ball off, and then run and block a corner. He does it every play, and if you don't believe me, I'll be glad to show it to you on the film. He's a wild man. Mike Herman. Not here. 45, Heath Hoyes. I didn't see him either. 51, Terry Kiefer. Come on down. Right down in the front row. Working at the offensive line can be frustrating when you work it 4 days a week trying to block the other team's plays, and then Monday night you've got to go back to our offensive scheme. There were times that our linemen were kind of looking at each other and wondering what was going on. But I'll tell you, he was there, and I'll talk about Adam knowing the entire offensive line. I think there wasn't a position except center that Terry didn't play sometime during the year at the JV level. Excellent job. Matt Patterson, come on down. We won't say that the team had some fun with Matt through the season. There were those days. As far as football is concerned, if we can look at that side of it, he sits back in the safety spot, hawks the ball, attacks the ball, and when he has to come up and hit, he rails you. and we're looking forward to having him fill one of those secondary openings. You know, having a name Wiley, I've always suffered the same fate that Mark suffers. That's being last in an alphabetical line. Number 70, Mark Van Sickle, come on down. Coach Adrian never had to face that being an A, you know. We have to wait till the end. Look at the carriage, folks. He's got a lot of that God gift that you need, and he works hard, and he's smart, and he's a hog, and we love him. This time, we have a special. This season, we won it in white. We won it in white at Troy. We won it in white at Wyalusing. And it's my pleasure to present every varsity football player with their white game jersey. We'll present it. Number 7, Kurt Baylor, come on down one more time. We'll do it by class. We'll save it by class. 22, Matt Dewall, come on down. 23, Mike Houlihan. If you look at the photo on the cover, he's number 10. But he was 23 through the season. Also, he's kind of reminds you of that Billy Idol song, Eyes Without a Face. 34, Chris Hunter. 75, John Leshow. 87, Sean McDonald. Did I call you Sean Leshow? John Leshow. 55, John Need. 65, Greg Smith. 72, Byron Weaver. A unique class of athletes, folks. Let's hear it for the seniors. Bill Bowman. 81, Nathaniel Carper. 12, Chris Coombe. Take your jerseys and go up that aisle, right? 14, Brian Cotner. 77, Chad Corral. 73, John Gerst. 48, ripped to shreds, so we're giving him 49 tonight. Brand new, Chris Cavler. 68, Aaron Layhow. 60, Mike McWilliams. 83, Tim Paul. 57, Josh Podiker. 31, Howie Weaver. 52, Adam Millard.
Howie. Got a bubble.
That's next one. 2 more down. There, bit.
Okay.
Let's hear it for the junior class. Number 74, Andy Need. 88, Mark Barrett. 80, Dave Boucher. There's a couple in there you're going to have to pull. 69, Corey Burton. 8, Damon Fitt. 51, Terry Kiefer. 85, Matt Patterson. 70, Mark Van Sickle.
You got him? That's all.
Sophomore class. You know, I'm a firm believer in living in the present. You know, the past are nice memories to have, but you can't get lost in the past. But someday, guys, this will be hanging in your closet, and your kid will grab it and say, "Hey, Dad, can I wear your football jersey?" And you'll say, "Hell no, son. We won district when I wore that." That was, knew where Kate was playing. And last but not least, we have purchased for every varsity football player a District 4 championship watch. They arrived Friday. The players don't know they're here, but they're getting their watches right now. We're going to call you right back down in that same order. I have to admit, I didn't take time to set them all. They're all running, but I didn't set them all. Number 7, Kurt Baylor, come on down. 82, Ron Bernardi. If it needs fixed, you know where to take it, Ron. 22, Matt Dewall. 6, Chad Foster. 23, Mike Houlihan. 34, Chris Hunter. 75, John Lushow. 87, Sean McDonald.
It's on.
55, John Nee. 65, Greg Smith. 72, Byron Weaver. Again, this is the last time these seniors are going to be together as a football group. I'd like to give the seniors a round of applause. 44, Bill Bowman. 81, Nathaniel Carper. 12, Chris Coombe. 14, Brian Cotner. 77, Chad Carell. 73, John Gerst. 48/49, Chris Cable. 68, Aaron Layow. 60, Mike McWilliam. 83, Tim Paul. 57, Josh Potiker. 31, Howie Weaver. 52, Adam Millard. Junior class. '88, Mark Barrett. 80, Dave Boucher. 69, Corey Burton. 8, Damon Finn. 51, Terry Kiefer. 85, Matt Patterson. 70, Mark Van Sickle. Sophomore class. When you underclassmen look at those watches, I hope you remember what the seniors meant to us and what this team accomplished. This time I'd like Coach Mahoney to come up and get his watch.
Well, it was the day before Christmas, so my watch stopped, and I don't have a watch. It's going to come in handy. Thanks.
Coach Albertson. Coach Adams, follow him on down. Coach Albertson's always saying, I don't have anything of Danville to wear. Well, now he does.
No, he does, Coach. It comes out of my dresser and closet.
Coach Coombe. Thank you, sir. Coach Humphrey. Coach Slavin. I hope those are a memento that not only will keep great time for you, but will mean a lot to you in the future. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the Outstanding Player Awards. If you turn to the back page, we have a listing. The top 9 awards were determined by the varsity coaching staff. The 10th award, the Legion Eagle Award, is done solely by the committee. We are appreciative for their actions. I think they're very supportive of us, and this is one way that they really keep a hand in Danville football. At this time, it is my pleasure to present the Outstanding Lineman Award to All-State John Need. I believe we may hear more about this guy in days to come. John Need. I've been fortunate enough to coach a lot of fine receivers, and something about the run and shoot offense, to me, it's always visually exciting. And when Kurt Baylor was playing wideout, it was visually exciting. Outstanding receiver, Kurt Baylor. Outstanding offensive back. You know, Coach talked about you only have so many shots in this lifetime. And I think our offensive back erupted like a volcano last year. And just, you know, my concern was, could he hang for a whole season? And Chris Hunter proved he could go the season plus 2 big games. Chris Hunter, outstanding athlete. I'll never forget the game that he exploded. I mean, the whole crowd was turning and looking at me at that JV game. Where's he been hiding? Well, we didn't let him hide long. We put him right out there on the showcase. Outstanding defensive lineman, Chad Corral. There were a lot of bone-jarring hits this year with the defense, but I'll tell you what, Chad had quite a few of them. I mean, there were ball players that were sorry they ever crossed paths with 77. Outstanding linebacker. We didn't get to see him in the film, so we'll get to see him here tonight. Howie Weaver. Your eagle lost its wing, so I'll get your replacement on that. Thank you, sir. Coach says that's the way it should be for a linebacker. A little busted up. Outstanding defensive back, Ron Bernardi. Thank you, Ron. Seriously, would you like to say a few words? You know, the Ironmen Award is one of those awards that cover a lot of ground. We don't feel that it needs to be a starter. It can be anyone that contributes. Attitude, hustle, work ethic, willingness to change when needed. And I'll tell you, this year's award winner was one of the biggest surprises I had, Matt Dewalt. I think Matt played about every position there was in the skilled package, and the Troy coach said to me, "Where'd 22 come from?" I said, "We have them, and you had them too." Right here, Matt Dewalt. The most improved player for this year's campaign was a player that I really enjoyed watching play. 4-4 defenses are a lot better when the defensive ends get it done. Sean McDonald. I'm going to skip ahead to the Legion Eagle Award for the outstanding senior. At this time, I'd like Mr. Millard to step up and present that if you would.
Winner of this here is I think, best running back in the district. Chris Hunter.
And this year's MVP, doing it all, and we've got a lot of shoes to fill, Chad Foster. Chad Foster's asked for some time. Captains.
One second. Excuse me. Okay, real quick, we want to thank a few people. First, we'd like to say thank you to the cheerleaders who've done an excellent job with their lockers all season long, with the pep rallies and bonfire and the games, and thank you very much.
All right. We'd also like to thank Shannon. I mean, she does a lot for us. She's at every practice. She's always there. She helps us, and she's funny.
All right, next we'd like to say
in appreciation, we'd like to bring up our two senior cheerleaders and Shannon.
Come on down.
Next, we'd like to thank the two doctors who are at every game. You know, we see these guys, we're like, who are these guys? You know, they're always saying, all right, go to the hospital, make sure you get there tonight. And to show our appreciation, we each got them a Danville Ironmen hat and a scarf. So, Dr. Hess, please come up.
Dr. Hess, come on down.
Okay, we gathered
Kurt.
money.
As most of you know, we had two head coaches this year. Well, one was temporary. But we'd like to especially thank both of them right now with these little gifts.
Now, what we did for all the coaches, we got our picture, our team picture enlarged, and at the bottom we got it engraved with all our names and District 4 champs, Danville Ironmen, and that won't be in for a few weeks, so we're going to have to hold off. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
One more gift for Coach Wiley.
He said one more gift for Coach Wiley. And the card states, for a man who lives and breathes football, now you can eat it too. A chocolate football. excited already for next year. It's one of the great things about this job I have. Every year is a new experience. Coaches, you have anything? Players, anyone? Does anyone have anything?
I would like to get a picture of the award winners with a couple of our sponsors. Bob Whitmer, if he's here, and someone from the Eagle.
He's
There
down
were
here.
any representatives here that could be in the photo with them.
Okay, award winners, stay for your photo. Shirts went to offset the cost of the jackets. Some of the ball players are getting these jackets at no cost. I personally couldn't figure out why Coach Mahoney ordered a triple extra large. But now that I realize he puts on 19 t-shirts, they say dress in layers and the man takes it to the tent. At this time, I'd call on Father Steve for the benediction.